So we got like 2 minutes from the BMW after they did that temporary fix on the oil leakage, and then we had a huge like oil splash. Just as I stopped, I was just standing there, and then all of a sudden it just started leaking out. So we are now at this gas station. Luckily there was another group of motorcyclists, and they actually were waiting for a tow truck as well because one of their bikes wouldn't start. So we chatted, I had some mezcal, it was lovely.
Eso es lo que quiere decir hacer limonada de los limones, ¿verdad?
Moxie, Greg, and I are riding around the world to raise $100,000 for the nonprofit Girl Up. We're donating 10% of RUFFLY sales to the fundraiser and posting a new episode every week. It's a big dog on two wheels adventure for girls' empowerment. So follow along and please lend your support.
Este es el rancho Villasol. Yo soy Santiago Herminio y estamos en Los Ángeles, Etlatongo, Nochixtlán, Oaxaca. Aquí en este momento está el terreno arado. Después viene una ¿cómo se llama? Asentada de terreno, y después se siembra alfalfa para los animales. Les digo para que no tengan ningún problema, pero si pasan los coyotes, porque me imagino que se van a alimentar por el pueblo, entonces hay coyotes acá o en la parte de arriba, pero no pasa nada. Sí, son grandes, y luego por lo regular aúllan por acá cerca, por eso les digo, no hay ningún problema, pero para que no vayan a tener temor o algo.
So Santiago was really, really nice and called me over and said, I have something for you. Do you drink beer? Like, I'm alive, aren't I? Yeah, everybody's got to have a vice. So he invited us to a beer and two of the sort of house mezcal. This is mezcal tonalá. It's a little smoother. It's a little easier. And this is espinilla. I hope I'm getting that. Espin, I think. We'll see if I'm getting that right. Future me will correct me. And it's a little harsher, although, so he had me taste this one and it was smooth. So I can only imagine how easily this one goes down. Anyway, we are going to finish setting up camp, and then we are going to enjoy, and then it will be quesillo time.
And what do we have on the ground here so people can see? The electrolyte drink.
So we've already like proven ourselves to be a terrible disaster. But we are currently overloaded with food.
And what did I put in there? Bananas and what?
We have, this has been drunk by me to rehydrate. We have bananas, and we have tortilla chips.
Oh yeah.
For the quesillo. So we're not just shamelessly littering, we're just a little shamelessly
and Moxie's friend?
Shamelessly disorganized.
Amelia?
And Amelia is this one, he calls her pulga, which
She's
is
got
like
fleas or ticks.
Tick.
I know she's young. She's only like 7 or 8 months, and so she wants to play.
So
and Moxie's
she's like bouncing all around. She's got all this energy, right? She's got puppy energy. Moxie is like an old battle axe who is exhausted from her travels. Okay, it's not the years, it's the mileage that she's carrying right now. And this one just keeps antagonizing her. And Moxie has a hard time saying no. Okay, if she has any vices, it is playing to the point of near death and exhaustion. And so she doesn't want to stop, but boy, she is like exhausted.
My job when we get to a new campsite is I set up the tent. I also set up all of the food stuff. So I'm the one who's cooking. So I take the table out, I put all of our foods on there and get everything ready to go. Meanwhile, Greg gets everything with the bike sorted, and he does the stove. And then, yeah, tonight we are going to have our Oaxacan cheese, and we are going to also get some of these fruits that we've collected along the way.
The girl at the cheese shop did not fuck around with her knot tying. This is serious. Okay. Do I need to help you
No.
with that knot? Because she's like a sailor, the way she ties these knots. Santiago's mother is like 92. She lives here. She uses her 2 canes to move around, and she just called us over from the house and came running over. Yes, senora, how can I help you? It was very important to her that we knew we could turn on the light, so that you know that you turn on the light, there's a light there. And I told her, no, thank you, we understand. We're enjoying the evening, you know, twilight and everything. Thank you very, very much. That was very lovely of her.
We've been waiting around for too long for something to show. Same old places and faces of people with nowhere to go. But we're not like them, we are better, both you and I know. Grab your car keys and jacket, 'cause honey, we're ready to go. Let's get in the car and you'll drive. We're leaving tonight, away from these streets and the cold buzzing neon lights. Been keeping our heads above water, struggling and striving. We ain't gonna turn back this time, we'll just keep driving.
The road was beautiful. There's all cactus on one side, and then there's like shrubs and things on the other. And as you pass through, like the temperature changed like 5 degrees, like in the shade versus the sun as you go around. So before we go to the biosphere, we're gonna have breakfast. And this place, it says something like that there's insects, exotic insects. So we are gonna see what that actually means. I'm gonna take Moxie for a stroll, and then we're gonna chomp.
Pochocuile viene de un árbol llamado pochote. El chapulín es también conocido también mucho en la región, casi por Oaxaca, aquí en Puebla, y también viene de árboles. Y el gusano de maguey viene que lo recolectan del maguey. Y la texca también uno lo conocen por chinche, y viene también de unos arbustos.
Let's put some guacamole on it. Not bad. I don't know, it doesn't really have much of a... It tastes like breading, like something that's breaded. Let's try one of these guys. These are the ones from the, where they make from the mezcal. He has more of it. Oh, a different taste. This one definitely has a different taste. It actually has a bit of that like mezcal flavor to it. You have to taste this one. It tastes like yeah, so you can tell.
The cactus, huh?
Yeah, you can tell it's different from the other guy.
Taché or whatever it is. Yeah, let's try it. Little bits of protein.
Yeah. These guys aren't anything special. These guys taste the best though. And then our chapulines, grasshoppers. Again, these guys just taste like they've been fried, like deep fried, which they have been. And it looks like your thing is like full of insects, right? It is. Just a quick time out to tell you how you can support the Go Ruffly Around the World adventure for Girl Up. You can donate directly to Girl Up at GoRuffly.com/world-adventure. You can make a purchase at GoRuffly.com where 10% goes towards the fundraiser. Tell all your friends and family about it. And of course, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Now back to the adventure.
Su servidor Felipe Mendoza, tengo el placer de ser su guía. Sean bienvenidos a Zapotitlán Salinas. Nos encontramos en el Jardín Botánico Doctora Elia Bravo Jolis.
It's too hot on her paws with all the rocks here, so I just put her back there, so she's hanging out with him in the shade.
Este árbol en septiembre se reproduce una larva. Es un gusano de 6 centímetros. Ese gusano se llama cuchama. ¿Saben por qué es tan codiciado ese gusano? Porque tiene un potencial nutriente y luego tiene tanta potencia que pasa a ser afrodisíaco. Es más potente que cualquier píldora.
Wow.
Y entonces la gente dice, ¡ay, cuchama!
So the gusano cuchama is what I had in my omelet this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, he's furry. Look, he's a furry caterpillar.
And I am feeling both potente and a little randy. So it works.
Hay gente que se le está cayendo el pelo. Entonces se le recomienda que lo use como cualquier champú. Si lo usa en orden, en 4 semanas, no más caída de pelo.
Wow.
Ya viene el pelo nuevo.
Gregory needs this one. This one is for if your hair falls out and you need better hair growth. This is the thing. It's the blood of the sangre de primero level, the first level of blood.
False. I do not need this. I have an anxiety attached to losing hair. It does not actually mean that my hair is falling out. Again, it is an anxiety.
Well, we're not hearing Moxie barking, so I'm sure she's okay.
But she's really missing out on this, though, you know? A lot of good information that she could have taken in.
Vinieron unos biólogos de diferentes universidades, lo analizaron, lo estudiaron y concluyeron que era una muerte natural. Murió porque estaba viejito.
This is what you're gonna look like one day.
Aquí donde estamos era mar. Este brazo de mar venía del Golfo de México, cruzaba territorio mexicano y se conectaba con el Pacífico.
You could just die out in this desert and no one would ever know. There's probably meth labs under all the cactus.
Su nombre común es mala mujer. Bad woman. Se le aplica un poco de pomada, se le da masajito en el lugar de las dolencias. En 10 o 12 minutos ya no hay dolencias. No sé por qué le pusieron mala mujer si en realidad la pomada es una belleza. Y la pomada con masaje es una elegancia. En 1987 vino el príncipe de Japón y este hombre lo bautizó como pata de elefante. Ahora tiene una aproximación de 1500 años. No es árbol. Van a creer que es una planta de la colección de hierbas. Sí.
So there you go. Just when you think you have everything figured out and you know all the answers, it turns out that Pluto isn't a planet and not everything that looks like a tree is actually a tree. Sometimes it's a plant or an herb.
It didn't take more than a second for you to turn the whole world upside down. Turn this big boat back around. Had you been watching and waiting from someplace up above, somehow knowing in this place.
It's been a very long day/evening, almost coming into night. We left the biosphere place at like 2:30, probably 3 o'clock, and we had about 4 hours to make it to Mexico City. We got caught in huge rainstorms, got completely soaked. Greg doesn't have anything that's waterproof, and my stuff gets soaked anyways, at least my bottom half. Moxie actually stayed really dry, and we're still about like 2 hours outside of Mexico City. We decided to pull over so that Greg could put on dry clothes and that we could just like take a time out and have a hot coffee and just sort of regroup.
On the road, makeshift emergency rain protection is to use the rain fly from the tent, or actually the footprint from the tent, to put over my body, and then the soaking wet riding jacket will go over it because it's already soaking wet.
We'll probably get into Mexico City closer to 9 o'clock, maybe even past that, but at least we'll be there. We have an Airbnb set up, so we'll be able to be warm tonight. It's been a tough time, but we are on our way. We purposefully waited until like now, which is 7 o'clock, so that the rain would stop. So we traded riding in the rain in the daylight for riding without the rain in the night. We made it into Mexico City last night. It was a pretty difficult ride. We were in Puebla and it was pouring on us, so we decided to wait a little bit before we continued on. As we started going towards Mexico City, one of the toll booths attendants told us that there was snow, or slush, I guess you'd say, on the road. And so as we were going, Greg was looking at his temperature gauge, and we saw it come down from like 18, 16, 10, 5, and it got down as low as 2 degrees Celsius, and on the side of the road there was snow. But our Airbnb happened to be on the other side of Mexico City, so we had to ride all the way through Mexico City to get to our Airbnb, which we are now. It was a long day and it was a long night, and now we're sort of recuperating.
We are headed out to the BMW, which is about 45 kilometers outside of the city. They finished with my bike. They have not finished with Jess's bike. They were missing a couple of parts that they need, in particular the main part, which is a gasket for her engine, which was what is leaking right now. That is an issue that we've been having for quite some time, and hopefully this is the last step in solving it, although I feel like I've said that a few times now.
We came to the BMW this afternoon with the expectation that I could take my bike today and then have our Girl Up event on Monday and then return it on Tuesday. The problem that they were having is because they didn't have the part, the gasket that they needed for the engine originally, they wanted to keep it, and they need to do it on like Wednesday when the part arrives. We just arrived here and it turns out that my bike is still leaking oil. The tubes that were replaced, it turns out that they had put silicone in it when they had put the new one on in Pana. And then when they removed it here, because they were reviewing it and making sure everything was okay, it doesn't stay anymore. And so now the oil is coming out a little bit. So he's put some silicone on it now. It's drying still, but he thinks that we can ride it for like the 2 hours of total riding that we would do between now and when we bring it back. So we got like 2 minutes from the BMW after they did that temporary fix on the oil leakage, and then we had a huge like oil splash. Just as I stopped, my helmet was coming out of, like the pads were coming out, so we stopped. I was just standing there and then all of a sudden it just started leaking out. So we are now at this gas station. Greg went back to the BMW. They are now closed. I don't know what the deal is, but we're gonna need to get this bike over there somehow. We're really close by, it's just a question of actually getting there. So Moxie and I are hanging out here while Greg goes to the dealer to see if they're open and if they can help us.
They are closed, but the guard that's there, the night guard, will receive the bike and sort of put it in storage.
Luckily, there was another group of motorcyclists, and they actually were waiting for a tow truck as well because one of their bikes wouldn't start. So we chatted. I had some mezcal. It was lovely.
Very good, special drink for Mexico.
Yeah. I get to drink a lot because I'm not driving, but Greg has to ride the motorcycle.
Yeah. So.
But it's very good. The group there, they were really, really nice. And so we hung out there for like, I don't know, maybe about half an hour in total.
Ya no tienen elección que salir en el episodio por ser hermanos y hermanas en el desastre, ¿verdad?
Carlos Miguel. Pero todo el ambiente me conoce como burrito de Nueva Era. En el motoclub soy el responsable de la seguridad del motoclub.
Sargento de armas, ya.
El motoclub tiene 20 años ya.
En el DF.
Ya formado, 20
Genial.
años. Aceptamos todas las marcas y todas las cilindradas. No
Genial.
somos un motoclub elitista ni mucho menos.
Si entiendo correctamente, la moto que es esta de Quique Suegro dejó de arrancar.
Falló, no sabemos exactamente si fue el inyector, si fueron las bujías, pero dejó de funcionar hace un momento y es una política que tenemos como motociclistas, todos lo saben, jamás se deja un hermano tirado. Entonces nos quedamos aquí, ya llevamos 3 horas hasta que llegó la grúa, ahorita lo vamos a asegurar en su casa y ya de ahí, de su casa, ya cada quien se va a su casa a descansar. Pero hasta que no estemos seguros que el afectado está seguro, no nos vamos.
¿Alguna junta? Ya, sí, es justo.
¿No te lo vais a tomar, güey?
Bueno, hombre, es aceite de marca, así que es más suave que esta cosa. Parece que Quique es quien está disfrutando más de todo esto, ¿verdad?
Sí, ya se puso unos alcoholes para olvidarse del problema.
Eso es lo que quiere decir hacer limonada de los limones, ¿verdad? O sea, Jessica ya puede disfrutar, usted está disfrutando. I am not drinking this mezcal. This is Jessica's mezcal. I barely even took a sip.
By the time the tow truck came, put the bike on, I went into the cab with Moxie, and Greg was supposed to follow along on his bike to get us here. Yep.
So how much, what'd they say?
1,000 pesos, and then we can get there. Even if nobody's there, they still have to drop the bike off, but they're going to do us first, and then they're going to come back for Quique to do his. She's so docile, I'm not sure why.
But she's just
The
learning.
mezcal is a little strong. I had a little trip over there.
Did you almost fall over?
I tripped over my dog. And Greg had come and checked to make sure that the security guard would let us come in and drop the bike, because we were really only like 5 minutes away, but like when you have to go around these overpasses, it was like 10 minutes. And I didn't want to ride with all of that oil coming out.
Hermano, muchísimas gracias.
Estamos,
Esto es
ya sabes,
mucho más allá de... Ustedes llevan 3 horas, coño.
No te preocupes, acá no
Okay,
pasa
pues,
nada.
We made it here. I was able to help him offload the bike from the tow truck, and we just left it parked here. So now I'm going to give the keys to the security guide here, and then Monday, tomorrow is a holiday, which was the whole issue that we were having, and Tuesday they start work again. So on Tuesday they'll start working on my bike, hopefully fix all of these oil leakage issues.
after everything, this is an on-the-road quick fix. We are without water, except that I still had water in our thermos, so the dog does not need to go without.
We are at Parque La Mexicana, and it is a completely pet-friendly park with restaurants and all cool stuff for the dogs. Moxie. And we've come here to see all the cool dog breeds that everybody has out here and to go for a really nice pet-friendly dinner. So we're at the Petco here at this like hoity-toity La Mexicana park, which is like a dog park. So they've got all the best stuff here. And this is the first time that we've actually gotten a chance to get her some really good kibble. Yeah.
Pero tenemos de todo, es más que nada la cuestión de que tú tengas acostumbrada a la mascotita.
Okay. So we're thinking today we're going to spoil her. I know that it's not so good to change her food, but she needs to change her food anyways because we're running out of what she had. So we're going to try, I think, the real salmon or the Texas beef. Maybe we should get her the Texas beef. Let's get her the Texas beef here.
We are once again in an Uber. because Jess's bike died on us yesterday because of an oil leak. I wouldn't even call it an oil leak.
It was like an oil gush.
It was an oil gush. It was an oil bleed out.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because Jess has an event with Girl Up today. So one of the Girl Up clubs here in Mexico City is the UNAM club, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that's part of one of the universities, the UNAM University here.
We are just a few of a lot we are in Girl Up, but we wanted to show you like some of the work we do and how Girl Up UNAM was founded.
UNAM is our
we from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, and all the girls are in the National Autonomous University of Mexico.
Well, our structure here in Girl Up UNAM is divided into like, I don't know, like committees okay. Probably. One for sports, one for science, gender-based violence, culture, gender equality, and communication.
Okay.
That's how we organize our projects.
It was a really inspiring visit to hear them talk about the changes that they want to make in their community, on the campus, the struggles that they face when it comes to issues of gender equality.
There were a lot of sexual harassment cases in our school, and the university is not always supportive.
Yeah.
So that's why we needed to create these spaces to tell girls that we believe them.
Like the man who was in charge of the tribunal, like
the tribunal.
He was accused of harassment.
These young women are just so empowered.
We're not allowed of Girl Up clubs here in our country, but we're trying. We're seeking for other girls to open their clubs and also to get this initiative to other spaces, right? Like, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to empower girls, but especially we want to empower our community.
It was really heartening to see them with the passion that they have.
She called me and she told me about Girl Up, and we were like, yeah, it will be incredible. We need this space.
We actually opened this space in the middle of a pandemic crisis. I got out from high school, and I am tired of all the same gender-based violence we've been living through. I'm tired of not having those spaces with girls, and I'm tired of having those spaces with women who have the same concerns.
Girl Up for me has been like a space for freedom, of knowledge and failure.
Nice.
They are my family, my friends, and I don't know. And if I continue, I am going to cry.
Well, I am grateful because Girl Up has been a safe space for me and to make me grow. So I'm really happy for that.
It's a place who gives me the tools to my life, being empathic with all the situations that all the women live.
So I'm really glad that we got a chance to see them here in Mexico City. Girl Up has clubs all around the world, and we're going to continue to see them as we continue on this trip, and we're going to share it with you all.
It has also taught me compromise, to know that you don't always have to be friends with a girl, to have sorority.
And we are reinventing ourselves and also the society, the groups, our university, and I think we can change the world.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. So nobody enjoys riding in the rain, and we definitely did not enjoy that rain ride. We got soaked. Poor Greg with his rain gear just not being waterproof anymore. And we knew it going into it, and it was one of those things where we said, as we get closer to the States, yeah, we'll find a store that has a good rain jacket that will fit him nicely, and that will work well. But we just never got around to it. And then, of course, we get caught in this huge rainstorm. So it was a tough ride for him. I think it made him feel a little like demoralized, having to ride through that and just being so cold too. Like when you're wet and you're cold, it's just not comfortable. And for me, my rain gear was pretty good, like always my rain pants, regardless of what pants I have. I always end up getting soaked in the crotch, which is not a pleasant feeling, but that's really the only place where I was feeling wet. And for Moxie, we had her K9 Moto rain fly over the carrier, and you can see we sort of miscalculated one thing on our rain fly. Because I have that monopole that sticks up in the back of my bike, the carrier I mean, where we've got one of the GoPros that we can film Moxie from behind. The way that I have it set up, it didn't allow for the rain fly to go all the way down. So I think if you saw in some of the shots, the rain fly was up just a little bit, and it was because it couldn't come down because of the
the monopole. So we decided to, we just cut out a piece so that we sort of put the rainfly on that first, and then we can put it over Moxie. And that just helps keep everything down. But it worked out well. She was like completely dry. When we stopped in Puebla, she was just completely dry when I picked up the rainfly. But Moxie, she seems to just like hunker down, and she does okay with that, and she's protected by me, so she doesn't get so wet. The tips of her ears get wet just because they're out there, but she did really well. You can tell she was tired too at the end. Like, it takes a lot as the rider and as a passenger and as a dog to be on the bike in those types of conditions when it's cold and wet. So I'm glad that we were able to make it through that, but it wasn't the most pleasant ride, I'd say. But it did sort of help us fine tune the things that we need, like Greg's rain gear and making sure that the rainfly has that hole so we can put it over the monopole. And it's always just an experience, right? Something that it happens. You can't be a motorcyclist doing it around the world and not get caught in the rain. For all of you out there who have donated or thinking of donating to our Go Roughly Around the World fundraiser for Girl Up, you'll have seen in this episode that I got a chance to meet some of the girls for the Girl Up Club here in Mexico City at UNAM, which is one of the universities here. And you'll have seen how empowered these young women are. And it really, like I said before, it's such an inspiration to see them and all of the work that they're doing to help improve their conditions here on the campus and in their communities. So that's where your funds are going to when you donate to our fundraiser. The goal is to do $100,000 by the end of this trip. As of today, I think we're at $7,100. So we are getting up there, but we still need more support. So if you can donate, please do. And if you have any questions sort of about Girl Up or where your funds are going, feel free to put it in the comments below, or you can always email us at info@goruffly.com, and we'll respond to you and get you the information that you need. My next Girl Up Club visit is going to be in Seattle, I believe, at the beginning of June. So keep an eye on that. And like I said, we're going to be visiting Girl Up Clubs all around the world. So you'll be able to see the impact that your donation can make. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube and at GoRuffly for Facebook and Instagram. And we have new episodes coming out every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central, so make sure that you've got the notifications marked off so that you get notified when a new episode comes out. And if you can, please like and comment on this video so we can get more people to watch it and get bigger impact. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.